Welcome back to the database for Blue Planet Complete for Freespace 2 here on Paladin Gaming. We have new entries in the database, so we're going to do a database reading. First pilot log. I need to get away from this ship. Personal log. Sublieutenant Noemi Laporte, UEFg Indus. I need to get away from this ship. With Manuel and Kasim gone, the Nava has disbanded and everyone's spirits down. It feels like a tomb. It wasn't like this before the Blitz. More and more of First Fleet is being retained for classified defensive operations. Whole ships have dropped off fleet nets, swallowed up by Admiral Burns' project. I'm not going to be part of that. Defense is just another word for sitting and waiting for defeat. I have a glowing letter here from Captain Telfer. I'm going to pull strings and request a transfer out of the First Fleet entirely. The Jovians and Martians are still trying to hit back. I have an idea where I'd like to serve, and if I pull the right strings, I feel like something inside me is changing. I don't know what or how. I'm not really sure where I am right now. Personal log addendum, 1330. I got the transfer. I'm going to Second Fleet. I'm going to serve with Lorna Sims on the Indus. I liked what I saw of her at the Meridian battle and at Riza. Her fire, her grit. I was told that the Indus was the finest frigate in 2 Fleet, but I've also heard that the Indus is a death ship, a black hole for rookies, a suicide posting. A shuttle out to Mars tonight at 2240. I guess I'll find out. The Indus. Aboard UEFg Indus. There is something in the air. The Indus has a crew of 3,000. Weeks of unrelenting rage, jump 5 deployments, and pitched battles have taken a toll. They are filthy, exhausted, and afraid, running on the acid biochemical dregs of endorphins and bad fleet coffee. But they do their jobs with dogged competence, like a living callus. Deadened, numb, but still intact. Now, though, something new is creeping through the crew. Officers mutter at their stations. Deck gangs gather around terminals, seeking a few moments of gossip between maintenance squawks. The word is spread down from the Admiralty, leaking through the bureaucracy and fleet net to combat ships and pilots. A big op is about to go down. Admiral Netraba is going to make a move. With the taste of a brewing storm under her tongue, Captain Lorna Sims peels away the scabs of her command's 400% casualty rate and starts building some honest to Mars esprit de corps, praying that these rooks will not die screaming like the rest. She does it the Martian way. Card games in the bunks, basketball and football, with what space? Rowdy back and forth during briefs, one-on-one training flights that piss off the deck crew and burn precious fuel, but might save her people. And most importantly of all, in the ring, the chalk circle she and long-locked Lieutenant Levi put down together in the big storage closet behind her office. She lets her people spar, no holds barred, no concessions for size or sex. Women get no mercy, men get no cups. There is one rule. When you leave the ring, you need to be flight ready or you will pay. And it is during one of these sparring matches, as the squadron cheers Ogre and Glance, that Sims explains to her new wingman how they might just win the war. The Tevs are lords of all they survey on the other side of the node, she explains, straddling a plastic-backed stool like an egret perching on a lectern. But that node has limited throughput. It takes time and energy to move a battle group through. They can't move all their ships to Delta Serpentis to resupply, so the supplies have to come to them. She scratches at the roots of dirty blonde hair hacked off at chin height. They've got a base at Neptune. They can keep one destroyer group fueled and armed. They've got Jupiter, but they haven't whipped it into submission yet. They're still bottlenecked at the node. But, Tevs being Tevs, they prepared for that and deployed 2 backup plans. Those 2 Animoy logistics ships are more valuable than any destroyer. They are the reason we can shoot one of their corvettes to hell and find it back on the lines a week later. Take those 2 ships, retake the node, checkmate, they starve. She thinks about it for a second, then laughs. Until they jump their reserves through, then we're fucked. Maybe, her audience says, maybe not. Sims arches an eyebrow. What, are you in a rush to win the war or something? The woman watching her makes a grin that is half predatory and half the manic terror of a condemned prisoner. Yes. God, yes. Sims shakes her head. You've got discipline issues, Laporte, she says. Understatement of the decade right there. 2 days mandatory rest. UEFg Indus, Agincourt Extraction, Day 1. 2 days mandatory rest is enough to drive some of the pilots to guilt. The crews of the Indus and the Yangtze will spend those days on frantic repairs, press-ganging GTVA crew and equipment into the effort under the watchful eyes of Federation Marines. The Gloire is already gone, thrusting out on a separate vector as a decoy. But the War God's pilots are on mandatory rest, time enough to realize that they have done what was once thought impossible. They have thrown a shoe into the gears of the Alliance war machine. They are heroes. They gather, Indus and Yangtze flyers alike, in the Indus's starboard wardroom. The chalk goes down, the drinks go out, pure cometary water from the Agincourt, and their pent-up fear and anger dissolves in a groundswell of euphoria. They spar and laugh together, drunk on testosterone and relief. When the affair dissolves, the pilots scatter to their bunks and the lights go down for ship's night. Lorna Sims and her wingmen are left, circling each other warily on the perimeter of one of the chalked rings as if they are marking out territory. "Nice flying out there, Rook," Sims says. She steps into the ring, lean and long-limbed, her motions laconic. Across the ring, Laporte matches her. In the shadows of ship's night, she is a dusky fey shape, quick and precise like a raven. "Thanks, boss," she says. They fight, sparring at first, until the inevitable tangle and fall into a grapple. Sims locks her wingman's right arm into a triangle hold and Laporte taps out. They roll free, panting. The bruises left by Laporte's fingers mark her captain's neck. Oh god. They lay side by side in silence for a moment, tense but still. "So, do you want to tell me what's eating you?" Sims says. "Sir? Why you spend half your sleep cycle muttering like a street prophet?" "Hey," Laporte says indignant, "my dad was a street prophet." Then gets a laugh from Sims. "Your dad was a pilot and he's dead. He doesn't care." "Yeah, you read that in my jacket?" "It's in there. Deck accident followed by a bad fire a few years back, right? Inhaled superheated air, lungs burnt to hell. Ugly." "Yeah, and my mom, you read that too? Died of a respiratory infection last year, right? Couldn't get the meds she needed because of the TEV strikes." "Yeah," Laporte shrugs eloquently, as if to say, it happened to someone else. Sims rolls on her side and eyes her wingman like a surgeon sizing up a wound. "So, you out for revenge? Is that what was chewing at you?" Laporte gets to her feet. "Maybe I'm just crazy. Get up, sir. You're up 1, but the night's still young." Got a new dossier on Lorna Sims. Who is Lorna Sims? You think about this, you puzzle and probe, and sometimes it's a joy and sometimes it hurts. Sometimes you don't think about it at all. Mostly when you're with Sims, flying, killing. Maybe that's who Sims is. The moment. A place where you never have to think, never have a chance to reflect, never have to be anything other than laughter and killjoy. But that's a selfish way to go at it, isn't it? Sims is her own woman, impatient, profane, ferocious, and you shouldn't make an icon of her. She's not a lion, not a war god, not some kind of oblivion you can curl up inside. A conversation you have after a sortie. "You flew like shit today, Laporte." "That so, boss?" Squared off in the shower cube, reading the fear stink of pilots and Indus crew all waiting for cold water. Sims a pylon in the crowd, and you, darker and shorter, feels like the raven roosting on her. "You got sloppy on your E-poles," Sims says. "Slipped into the thread envelope twice." "I went in to finish the kill, sir. Calculated risk." "Not much good if you don't live to brag about it. Yet here I am, sir." You'll spend 2 hours in the helmet running poles and drags while I let you fly again." Sims puts a little crack of authority on the end of the reprimand and then grimaces like she's just noticed the smell. "Flight Lieutenant Levi assures me that they were good kills, though." You are pretty sure Sims hasn't broken to Levi since pre-flight. You grin at your captain, and Sims, exasperated, grinning back though, shakes her head in sighs. "You love it, don't you?" she says. "You're happy out there." You put your hands on the back of your head, an improper attitude towards the superior officer, and hold the grin. "I'm coming for you, sir." You're racing Sims for the top of the 2nd Fleet kill board. You both know who's going to win. Ah, boy. And no new intelligence, so that is that for this database reading. This has been a database reading for Blue Planet Complete for Freespace 2 here on Paladin Gaming. This is Paladin Gaming, signing off.